This is my longest video, but believe me, there's very much knowledge in this video, so watch it all the way through. If you want to try this, here the company who makes this molds. I haven't used those molds before, so I will polish them, of course. Before you ask me too many questions, please watch my other videos. So many questions and all the answers are there. I shouldn't really show you again how to temper cocoa butter because I've been showing that for so many times, but okay, I do it anyway. So here, black cocoa butter, heated to 45 degrees, at least. You can also warm it to 50, and then I cool it in water. You can also use ice water for that. Cool it slow, stir, and cool it to 26 degrees while you're stirring. Very important. Then you could use it there, but it will set too fast. That's why we heat it a little bit up to 28. You can also heat it to 30 degrees. I prefer 28. And then it's ready to use. The chocolate molds should be at about 18 degrees Celsius. Remember, stirring is very important when you're tempering. That is when you temper chocolate or when you temper cocoa butter. So what should I use to paint? That's gonna be difficult. Scalpel? No, not really. Big brushes? No. A spoon? No, not either. That looks about right. A Q-tip is also very useful. And of course, my glasses. At this point, I need to tell you, I'm not a very good artist. So I start painting with a brush. And as you can see, that doesn't work so well. So I change to the Q-tip. The idea is to make these frogs look like poison frogs. And poison frogs, they have a lot of nice colors and very often black spots and stripes. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. So first, all the black coloring. Then I let the cocoa butter crystallize before I continue with the next color, which I will spray into the mold.
Your room temperature should be between 18 and 22 degrees, not warmer. I decided to give these frogs a lot of dots. Now it's time to combine the dots and stripes with some spraying. I use my water with the 0.5mm nozzle. This is a very good spray gun for detailed work. The problem with this gun is it blocks very fast if you don't take care of the nozzle. Have the nozzle clean and your cocoa butter at 28 to 30 degrees.
I didn't like the design of that frog, so I will make it all black. Target is to use these colors, they're all tempered. Remember to cover all the frogs you don't want to color. Some of the frogs get dots in different colors. First I use green and then red. And here you don't need to wait until the cocoa butter is crystallized. When you make dots, you just make them. And then you crystallize before you paint. So the design is ready. I only need to color my frogs. I use the SATA Mini Jet 4400 with a 1mm nozzle for that. Again, the cocoa butter has set in the molds. I take them out, they're at about 18 degrees, and I start spraying with tempered yellow cocoa butter. I like to remove the cocoa butter from the molds. It's gonna be very messy later if you don't do that. You see, it already looks beautiful. To be quite honest, at this point I have no idea what I'm doing. I just fade different colors into each other to get a nice look of these frogs. So just keep trying at home until you hit the right colors. It's all about practice. Maybe this is the right time for you to hit the subscribe and the notification button. Would be a pleasure to have you on this channel. I decided to make some frogs in blue as well. So after the color is set and crystallized, I put white tempered chocolate inside. If you use dark chocolate, you need to spray with the white cocoa butter first to keep the nice and beautiful colors. Otherwise it will look totally different. So white tempered chocolate, very liquid, about 40% cocoa butter inside to make a nice and thin shell. Thin chocolate gives you a very shiny shell. It's very important. Remember, your room temperature and your mold temperature is very important for a nice result. My room temperature is about 20 degrees. You shouldn't have more than 22 degrees in the room. Everything will be more difficult for you. You need to work very fast. And the mold temperature, again, should be at 18 degrees. Gives you nice and thin shells. Look at this. Now I will let them rest in the fridge at 16 degrees for at least half an hour so they can crystallize. And sometimes I do that overnight, but I will cover them if I do that overnight, and I use them the next day. Now I'm preparing the blueberry compote. Here I mix pectin and sugar. I boil blueberry compote just until warm. I add sugar and pectin, boil, add lemon acid, take it off the heat, cool, done. The full recipe is under the subscription. For the hazelnut ganache, start to roast some hazelnuts. You can do that on the stove or inside the oven. They need to be golden brown. Keep the hazelnuts warm while making the caramel. Boil some water and sugar until caramelized. Use medium heat, don't stir too much, otherwise the sugar can crystallize. Carefully start to stir when the sugar starts to caramelize. Add the warm nuts when the sugar is caramelized enough. If the nuts are too cold, the whole caramel will just start to cool and you will have big lumps in there. When they're warm, you see, you can stir very easily. Mix and cool down on a silicone sheet. Very important to cool this caramel until it's cold. You can put it in the fridge, but only until it's cold, not longer. Otherwise, it will get very sticky. Break the caramel in pieces, put them in a blender and start blending until the praline is liquid. Remember to scrape from time to time. Again, just keep blending until the mixture is nice and soft. The heat and the speed of the blender will make it to a nice and shiny praline. Scrape from time to time. This praline is not done yet, it's not liquid enough. I need to scrape it and keep blending. For this recipe it looks about okay. Now I can start to add the cream. Scrape again. Add your chocolate and blend again until smooth. Wow, look at this consistency. Really, really nice. The ganache needs to be cooled until 28-29 degrees. Easiest way is to put it in a piping bag, flatten it and cool it in the fridge. Don't cool it too much. If you cool this ganache too much, it will not flatten when you pipe it into your bonbons. When the fillings have the right temperature, about 28 degrees, start filling. First the compote and then the hazelnut ganache. They also taste good only with the hazelnut ganache. careful not to fill too much filling inside, because you still need to close with chocolate afterwards. See how liquid the consistency is? It's very important, makes life much easier for you. You can choose to remove some air bubbles if you want. It's not necessary, but I do it sometimes. Look, there needs to be an edge for the chocolate, otherwise it's going to be difficult for you. If there's too much filling, just remove with a spoon. The filled frogs have been in the fridge for about an hour at 16 degrees. Ganache has set. Now I'll heat a little bit the surface to make the chocolate stick better. Be careful not to heat too much, only slightly heat the surface. Then put tempered chocolate on and seal the frogs. I will show you another way how to seal, especially big surfaces like this. Take the tempered chocolate, take some plastic sheets, make a thin layer with a palette knife. Put the liquid chocolate and the plastic right away on top and scrape clean. After about 20 minutes at 16 degrees, you can remove the sheet. Then cut off the chocolate edges if there are any. You can use them later for something else. Before removing the chocolates from the mold, always bend a little bit. If you make a very thin chocolate shell like I do, sometimes they stick to the mold. Just bend the mold again and then they will come out. Look at that beautiful filling. Wow. So please tell me, which one is your favorite? And if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do so, and also the notification button. More will come. Watch the video all to the end. I think I will set them free. Here we go. Bye.